Mikaila. Hello viewers, this is Niger TV on Mikaila Time. Thanks for watching again. Today I'm about to interview a great man. He's a musician, he's a songwriter, and he's also a producer. And his name is Berima. Thanks for having me here in your wonderful studio to interview you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. You're welcome to Ofia Studios.
Thank you, thank you. And as you can see, I've built my...
Listen, you are looking so splendid and like, wow.
Thank you. I was so inspired by your music. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go out there.
All out.
I'm gonna go in my African dress, you know, and like doing my thing, interviewing you. Because really, when I hear your music and listen to some message, I was so inspired. I was so inspired. I was like, no, I really have to interview you and talk to you about it more.
Thank you.
Like, who is your great inspiration?
My greatest inspiration is God. You know, and just the idea that He has created us and giving us, like, everyone has something unique about them.
Yeah.
That He looks at the world and He's like, I'm going to bring Mikaila to the world to do this and this and this to help humanity. That's really my second inspiration is my parents.
Your?
My parents.
Your parents, yes.
My father and my mother. They've always inspired me, encouraged me.
Yes.
And the things that happen in life also inspire me, you know.
Because I can hear it back in your music. Like there are messages in your music. And like you say, God, your parents, and things about life. So you'll take all those things when you make music.
Yes.
And what is your, like, what are the things that draw you to like write a certain song?
What happens is that something, it's like something can bug me until I write it down, and then so for one thing that really draws me is the unity of humanity.
Yeah.
That if we come together, there are more. I believe that there are more good people than bad people in the world.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a bit optimistic. So I always, even at the places where people tell me that, as for this, black people can never do, I always believe that we can do it. You know, and it is for us to provide the inspiration so that we do those things. So the unity of mankind, the unity of black people, you know, how Africans and South Americans, or even black Americans of the North, how we are separated. I feel like there should be something that brings us together.
Wow, and that's music.
Yes.
Because the name of your album is The Journey of the African Drum.
Yes.
And I can see that you're very, very, very proud African man. I
Yes.
think where you're from, and you're just so a big inspiration.
I mean, in God's wisdom and knowledge, He made me an African.
Wow.
You know, I'm not going to challenge what God did. You know, and so He made me African for a reason. Born in some small village somewhere.
Yes.
You know, and you know, coming from Africa, I think that was God's plan for my life.
Yeah.
You know, so I take it, and then that's the template that God gave me, and I use it to the best of my ability.
Yes.
You know, so I'm very proud to be African. In fact, when you give me anything else, I don't want.
Yes. Wow. But you're bringing Africa in another level. Like, I've been hearing you saying before the interview, like some people were not. There were people who were not being proud of Africa because of bad things that they were hearing about Africa.
Yeah, I mean, right now, because of social media and the internet and the global village that we're making, now we're getting to see the good sides of each other. But there was a time when Africans didn't respect blacks in the Americas, and then blacks in the Americas didn't respect Africans, because when they look on TV, all they see is poor Africans, people walking in the forest. And then all we heard about you guys were that you guys weren't doing well, you weren't going by your bootstraps, you're not doing well, you are living in ghettos, and you know, and so we all didn't like each other.
No.
You know, and now social media, when they tell you that Africans live in huts, and I go back home, and then I take a picture of myself living in my mansion, you're like, hey, wait a minute, I'm always not living in a hut.
Yeah.
You know, so these are the things that brings us together, because one thing with people is that your history and your heritage is what makes you proud and gives you self-worth.
Yes.
So if you don't hear anything good about Africa, you would not want to be
never
African.
go.
You understand?
And it's also the things that they're showing on TV.
Exactly.
Me myself, I was in Africa a few times, and I was
Nice.
like, wow, Africa is so beautiful.
Yes.
Like, but they show you just only bad things.
Exactly.
But with your music, hear it in your music. You
Yes.
want to bring unity.
Yes.
You want to like open doors with your music and let people see all over the world that Africa is not that bad.
No.
It's not that downloaded
Yes.
how people think. And you're with your music, you're telling people to see the beauty of Africa.
And then I also
So-
want Africans to see the beauty of South America.
Yes, yes.
You see? Because those are our brothers.
Yes.
Those are our brothers. And those are our sisters. You know, that it's not that they are just there and they are just like, oh, enslave me, enslave me. No.
Yeah.
They're also building. They're also doing great things in South America.
Yes.
And so it's the two that must come together
Yes.
and merge for it to become something.
To be connected.
Yes.
Yeah. And I
That-
can also hear it in your music. Like I can hear different inspirations
Yes.
like, from different.
Yes.
Because you were saying that is like what
Yes.
you want, the unity.
Yes.
I can hear some Surinamese
Yes.
in it. I was like,
Yes.
wow. But you went to Suriname
Yes,
as well.
I've been to Suriname twice. I've done concerts there a lot.
Yeah.
And actually, in South America, I go to South America a lot. I love it there. It's like a second home for me. So, for me, it's just about coming together, you know, and uniting. So,
Wow.
yeah, no matter what we do, that is the end goal for me.
Yes.
You know, and the music is the tool
Yes.
to get to that goal.
Yes. So, what are the message that you want people to hear in your music that they will have questions after they hear a certain song? They were like, you know, because you're going deep. You're going deep.
Yeah.
So, if somebody here listen to your music and they're like, you know, have some questions.
Yes, especially when I did Obibini. Obibini means a black man or black woman. You understand? And in my culture, Obibini, the word for black man means that you are somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So wait a minute. Viewers, if somebody say, hey black man, that means you are somebody.
So where's the one called?
Hey black woman, you are somebody.
Obibini, you
Wow.
are, or you are worth, you are worthy. You know, and so one of the greatest playwrights in Africa called Chinua Achebe, he said something. He said that
Once again, I'm sorry. You're going too fast. this is Ghanaian language that you're speaking.
No, I'm speaking. No, I'm mentioning
Ghanaian-
the person's name.
That's just a name. Say it again.
Chinua Achebe. He's a Nigerian.
Chinua Achebe.
Chinua Achebe.
Even in that there is music. Chinua Achebe.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Chinua Achebe, he's one of the Africa's #1 playwrights, and he said something. He said that until the lion learns how to tell his story, the hunter would always get the glory.
Wow.
And so I write the song, and then I have Twi and I have Swahili in. I said, Obibini, black man, where are you going?
Yes.
Unakwendo wapi? You know, I have another song saying Beji Wayeli. And when people hear it, the only thing maybe is just a song to praise God.
Yes.
But the behind it I'm asking is that, you see, in Africans, there was a time when we go to God, we only went to God to thank the Lord.
Yeah.
In our festivals. It was
Yeah.
all harvest festivals.
Yes.
You know, now when we go to church to beg for daily bread. Africa wasn't a place that used to beg for daily bread. Everybody came to Africa to come and eat. But today in Africa, people have to go to church and beg God for their daily bread. So I'm asking questions. Why is this thing happening?
Yeah.
You know, why have we sold ourselves?
Wow.
And why, you know, and so I praise Africa, but I also ask questions. And I'm not the type to down people like you are nobody or you know, it's like a conversation. When you hear the song, it inspires you, but you also have to think. You know, so I try to balance the two.
Yes.
In how I present the music. The other song that I have is called Tears in Aden.
Tears in Aden.
In Aden, you see, the Bible in in Genesis says that Aden, the waters that there are 4 rivers that come into Aden that watered the garden, and they flowed from Ethiopia. So then the Bible is telling us that the Aden, the Garden of Eden, was at the south of Ethiopia.
Wow.
That's what the Bible says in Genesis.
Yeah.
Okay, so why? So the place was called Eden, and then God made a garden in the east of Eden. Well, now Ethiopia is in the east of Africa. You see, and so now, like the land is crying because it gives us everything, but we, you know, so we ask questions. We have to ask ourselves questions.
Yeah.
and think deeply about how we can come together and unite and build Africa. Because without unity, it is not possible for us to unite. We have to connect back to our, in Nkrumah, in Nnamdi, and all these great leaders from Africa try to do it.
Yes.
Bring people from the presidents from South America to come and have, but later it went down, and we have to pick it up again.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
What makes you so different and unique than other gospel artists, musicians, producers? What is the thing that God has placed in you that is unique? Because we all have something unique, different than the other one. What is that thing?
I think that we are. That's what in the beginning I was saying, that God creates us all differently, and He creates us for His purpose. He has a purpose for why He brought us here, and sometimes we struggle with that purpose, and we are not. Sometimes we are afraid, and sometimes we delay. But at the end of the day, we come to that place where we realize that we have to do it because it's even though others do it and they are tired, it gives us strength.
Yeah.
So I've never really thought about why I'm different. I know that I know what I hear, and when I watch society, I see what I see.
Yeah.
Not everybody will see it like that. And so my job is to break it down in a way that everybody else would understand how I see it.
Yeah.
And make them feel it.
Wow.
With the music. So when the drums even play, the drums must play a certain way.
It has its own emotion.
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand? So the music is talking. In Africa, there's a belief that when you want to speak to God, you play the drum.
Wow. People, my God.
Because the drum is the ear of God. Okay. Yes.
I like that. The drum is
the ear of God.
The drum is the ear of God. Talk to me. Talk to us.
So that is why in the slave trade they will sing
and play the drum.
Yes. And then they sing the gospels. They sing the blues. They sing the work songs because that emotion that is in us. We express it better with music and sounds.
Wow. So it just come out.
Yes.
Because God has placed in every one of us a different sound.
Yes.
And with music, that sounds come out.
It comes out.
You also have studied jazz.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna sit for that. I have to sit for that first. You have studied jazz.
Yes.
You are just so, oh my God, like even talking to you right now, you were just saying about song, your sounds. I can feel there is a different sound that is like so unique and that can inspire many people. And I want to go there because you're also giving lessons. Can you tell us more about that and how can people apply for it?
Yes. What I do, like 7 years ago, I started like a music school specially to teach gospel music, because the way that you can go take lessons, music lessons, and it's fine, but you see, the gospel sound and the black sound is different. You see, so...
Okay. What's the difference then?
The difference is that we play a lot with our emotions. And then with the European style, it's very like formal with the book and, you get the note, you play the note.
Oh, yeah.
But you see, even when you play with the jazz band, they write the notes, but they tell you that the feeling of the note that they have written is different. So then the conductor must explain it to you.
Yeah.
But in classical, the notes, they write it and then they write the emotion at the top, maybe play it soft, play it loud, crescendo, So the way we approach music, the notes on the keys are the same, but the way we approach it is different. We approach it from a very deep emotional and spiritual place.
Yeah.
You understand? Yes. So the way that you play gospel, black gospel, is really different, and
it's more out of emotion.
Yes, and it doesn't mean that the other ones is not better, but it's just different.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do was really have a school where people can come and then learn how to interpret, the message of the gospel through music.
Yeah.
And so we do that, and then I also give workshops around the country.
Right.
I teach African music. One thing that the one thing about African music that the West think is that when they think about African music, they think about djembe and people dancing, and that's also part of our culture.
Yeah.
But we have very beautiful harmonies. In the 1600s, there was a doctor who was sent by the Danish king to come to Ghana to study. One of the first things he wrote was that the Ghanaians have a lot of beautiful harmonies, not just melodies, but harmonies. You know, so it's one of the things that people don't know. So I try to, when I go out there, when you go on the internet, you find some of these things on YouTube, where I'm teaching like some nice harmonies from my country. From Africa,
Beautiful. So if people want to apply to follow lessons, because you're giving lessons, they can just apply on your social media.
Yes.
What is Berima Amo?
Berima Amo. When you go on all the social media, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you can reach me, Berima Amo, and then and then I'll respond to you. So
that's great. I have 2 more questions for you because just, you know, one of the questions that I want to ask is that how are you dealing with setbacks?
The way I deal with, there's a song that number 3, the 3rd track on my CD. It's called Sanetier. Sanetier is that's how life is. You see, I embrace the good, the bad. Without the bad, there is no good. Without the good, there is no bad.
No.
And I wrote that song sitting in a train, going to school, going to the conservatory, and not having any money in my pocket.
Wow.
And then I couldn't take the train, so I had to walk from where I was living to the school, the Rotterdam Conservatory. It took me around 1 hour, 20 minutes or something to walk. And then whilst I was walking, the song came into my head. Oh, so life is anemia means like you have to be strong in your spirit, you know, and that's how it is. And so I say that, and then in the middle of the song we say that O'Brien is tears and is laughter, it's loneliness, but it's also conversation, having conversation with each other, you know, so you get both. And so for me, there are things that I'll cry about, there are things that I'll think about, there are things that will make me sad, but there are also things that makes me happy. There are things that, so for me, sometimes the bad things will help me to write a song, and everything turns out for my good anyway.
Amen.
You know, because, you know, there's a God that lives in me. You know, so these are some of the things that helps me to navigate the storms of life. You know,
Beautiful. What are the pros and cons as a musician?
The pros and cons as a musician is, I think that everybody has their pros and cons based on what they're doing and who they are trying to reach. But for me, I'm trying to bring a new sound, you know. I'm not trying to do something that somebody has done already. You know,
you don't want to be like Kanye West.
No, Kanye is.
I'm just saying that purposely because I've heard you say something about it.
No. Kanye West always is like, I'm a genius, you know, and I'm like, I don't want to sound like, you know. You know, I'm trying to bring a new sound, you know, and, with a new message, you know. So the way that I have to promote it is different. The way that I have to go about it, introduce it to people is different. You know, and when they hear it for the first time, it's like it hits you, and then you have to listen to it again, and then, you know, it begins to sit with you. I understand that, you know. So the way that I have to bring out my song is really like different from, so I'm not expecting like to have like, hey, like a pop song where like you have a hit, and I can make a pop hit. It's very easy for me, but I intentionally didn't want to do that.
All right.
You understand? Because I want to bring in a new sound, you know, that people hear. It's still musical. It still has all this, the elements of music, and it's still beautiful, but then it's still different. So I'm going about it differently. I have a team together, and we're working on it. So those are the things, and those are the challenges that you would face.
I like that what you're saying, because your goal is not to be popular or to make a hit song.
No.
What you really want is make music with a deep message in it that will touch hearts and people and make people think.
In this studio, I've made hits for a lot of people. I have hit songs on my computer, on my PC here that I've recorded. But the song that I made for this album, there's a goal and there's a purpose for it, and that's what I'm trying to reach, you know. And so we're working hard. So it's when you're starting something like that and you don't also have a big label with all the money following you, then you have to do everything yourself.
Yes, that's true.
And so those are the things, you know. And then when you get a deal, I got some deals, but then they want to take everything for you, give you a 360 deal.
And you don't want that?
No, you know, you don't want to sell your soul.
No. So have you ever dealt with competition? And how do you...
Like, what do you mean by
Competition, because, you know, in music, even in gospel music, people are competing with each other.
Yeah, I really, there's a saying that, you know, it takes two to race. So if you start to run and I don't run, then there's no competition, right?
Yes.
So when somebody wants to compete with you, I would not compete.
Yeah.
I would just not run with you.
Yes.
I'll tell you to win.
Yes.
You understand?
That's good. That's
so
good.
For me, I'm in competition with myself.
Yes.
The type of person that I want to be, and the type of impact that I want to make. It engulfs me so much that I don't see what someone else is doing.
Wow, I like it.
You know, so I try to. I'm like the person that I have to be and the person that I am now. They are so separate that I'm striving very hard to get to that place.
Yeah.
Maybe when I get there, I'll start to compete. I don't know, but for now, I'm like my mind is really on what I want to do, and the message. This is the beginning, and then the second thing that we as musicians must understand, because I make music for people, and then you also see that in people being a bit competitive.
Yeah.
What you have to understand is that nobody listens to only one person. You see, when you go to somebody's home, they have different CDs.
Yeah.
So they can have my music, they can have your music.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't have to choose. You understand? So for me, those are, I'm like, okay, I'm cool. Just go.
Yeah.
As long as I have my fans and they love what I'm doing, they're listening to my music, I'm cool.
And
you know.
Just stay true to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you have to say to people? Because you know it's sad, but it is happening, and that's why I want to ask you to say something about it to people who are singing gospel, even in the church, praise leaders. You know, just to encourage them to just stay true to themselves and not to compete.
Yes. Well, what I'll say is that, you see, Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, you build a house one brick at a time. And so sometimes you can meet somebody, or you can feel like somebody's coming to your space where you control, and then you feel a bit threatened. You know, we are humans. Okay, fine. But, you know, if you have a goal ahead of you and you are open to others, it helps the music. You as a person, you have to develop a character that always makes you be a peacemaker.
Yes.
You see, because when somebody throws shade at you, and then you also catch the shade and you also throw it back, then it becomes, then there's this loop.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So when somebody tries to lift themselves, I'll just go like, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah.
I'll always take, because, you know, people see things. People don't say everything they see.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes people will see what is happening on stage and they will not tell you. But you know, don't compete with anybody.
No,
just,
it's not necessary.
Yeah. Be true to who you are.
Exactly, because even people in the audience, they can feel it. And like what you say, music is your soul, it's the sound. And I mean, if you're doing that, like people can feel that as well. And if you want to deliver a message, what is the message that you're delivering if you're competing or things like that?
So these are things that happen. These are human nature.
Yeah.
You know, these things would happen. People like to protect their territories. People like to, the little that they have, they want to keep it to themselves. You know, and people don't. Some of us don't look at the big picture. You know, but I am interested in doing collaborations. I'm interested in working with everybody. Is the person that you are. You know, and God always blesses a diligent heart. You know, and an open heart. So if you're open to everybody, you know, one time Moses is sitting down and then the people rush to him. They're like, hey, come and see, some people are prophesying. And they expected that, oh, Moses would be angry. Like, hey, I'm the leader. They shouldn't be And then Moses said, I wish the whole of Israel would prophesy. Yeah. You see? Yeah. And so you see, that's the kind of spirit that we have to have. It's other people's ministry.
Accept and love one another.
Yes.
One another.
Yes.
I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for the person that you are. You are such a humble man, such an inspiration for many people, even for me, and even for the people that are watching, hopefully.
Thank you.
Those that are singing, that are making music. What I've learned today from you is just to stay true to yourself and stay true to your own sound and just be an inspiration for everybody. And what I really like is that you're very proud of your roots. Africa, I'm also proud because, you know, we all come from Africa. It doesn't matter if you live in Suriname, in the States, all black people, our roots come from Africa. So I want to thank you once again for
Thank
your
you so
time.
much.
And thank you for watching Niger TV on Mikaila Time. If you want to apply to follow lessons, all the information on social media is below down here on the screen. You can contact him, and maybe, who knows, you will be here in this beautiful studio taking lessons from Amo. So thank you once again. Have a great day.